gonna go ahead and put on my flame suit because I'm gonna tell you some things about batteries today, and some of them are probably gonna be wrong. And then all the battery experts are gonna come out of their little holes on the internet and they're gonna roast me for it. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and get this party started. It's melting, it's melting. So this is my off-road camper I built a few years back, and it is primarily powered by a 12-volt system, just like a car. The battery for it goes right back here behind the fridge, and as you can see, the battery is not there anymore. So I originally had a 100 amp hour deep cycle AGM battery in here. It was just a cheap one off Amazon, and it lasted probably for about 4 years. And then the last time we went camping, it just would not hold the charge. So today we're gonna be replacing that. We're gonna do a little bit of an upgrade. So we have here a lithium iron battery. We're gonna be using this today for a few reasons. Lithium batteries, they last a lot longer than your standard lead acid batteries do. Lead acid, you're looking at like 3 to 4 years average life. These, it's more like 7 years for an average life. You're also looking at way more charge cycles, so you can charge and discharge it many more times than your standard lead acid battery. And so even though lithium batteries cost more than lead acid batteries, you're gonna get a lot more use out of them. So if you notice, this is lithium iron. It is not lithium ion like you'd find the battery in your power tools or your camera, something like that. Lithium iron is actually a more stable substance than lithium ion. So, you know, lithium ion batteries, they blow up on planes, stuff like that. This battery, not gonna blow up on us, which is good for an off-road camper. It's gonna be bouncing around. So one of the challenges though is how do you get a system set up for this? So the battery we're using today is Reenergy brand battery. I have one of their solar panels on the camper. It's been working great, so I went with them again. That is, you're reading this right, it's a Bluetooth battery. So there's actually an app that goes with the battery. Here it is right here. And this allows you to monitor the state of your battery. Once you hook it up, it'll tell you how long you can use your battery for, how much is left, if it's charging, discharging, all that good stuff. So you don't need a separate battery monitor with this battery, which is awesome. It's gonna make it easier to set up. This battery is also really light. According to FedEx, it only weighs 30 pounds. So you can just, you know, do curls all day. Don't even need to go to the gym. So one of the biggest questions I had whenever I decided to start researching how to convert my camper over to lithium was the charging system. I had heard that lithium batteries take a different type of charger. And after 5 minutes of research online, turns out that's not actually the case. So you can charge a lithium battery with your standard battery charger, which is exactly what I did. So this battery came 40% charged. I put our Walmart special charger on here and it charged it right up to 100%. And we're good to go now. So if your battery charger has different types of batteries to choose from, like this one has standard, AGM, gel, AGM, that's the one you want to go with. Apparently it's the closest to the lithium type of charger. So our battery is charged now, but we can't just throw it in there. There's a couple more things we got to do. Got a couple parts here to help do that, and we're going to talk about those as we get to them. But the first one is right here. So this is the PD4045, and it is basically the electrical brains of the camper. So it handles our 12 volt, it handles our 120 volt shore power, and it also has a battery charger built right into it. So what happens is we put our battery in down here, hook it up, power goes into the PD4045, and the 12 volt system powers a 12 volt accessory. So you've got USB here, we've got a voltage monitor, we've got another 12 volt thing, we've got our stereo, we've got our lights up here. Most of the camper is powered off of 12 volts. When you want 120 volts, so for things like the air conditioner in here, or we've got a little electric heater that will hook up to when it gets cold. You come over here, you plug in your shore power, turn on your main breaker, and then you have AC power to the camper. Once you're hooked up to AC power, like I said, this will charge your battery, and that's one of the first things we're actually going to change today. So this unit has different types of batteries that it can charge, and we need to kind of get this panel off here and change that real quick. And I lied. I guess my unit is too old. There's supposed to be a little switch like right here, and you can switch it so that it always charges at 14.4 volts, and that's what lithium likes. It charges fast, it likes the higher voltage, but I can't do that. So this is just gonna stay as is, and as I kind of mentioned with standard battery charger, it's gonna think it's charging a standard battery, but that's not gonna harm our battery. It's just not gonna charge as fast or as well as it could if this was gonna charge it faster, but it's not, so whatever. Look, we're done, one thing down. So now that that's done, We're gonna move over to the solar charge controller. So like I mentioned, I have a Reenergy solar panel. It is not on the camper, as you'll notice. I've got it stored up here in the toolbox. It's all the way back here. Pull it out whenever I need it, and then that way, if the camper's in the shade, I can put the solar panel wherever I want. Got some wires that go from it into this port right here. I just kind of hot wired your standard 120 volt electrical connection here, and that goes into here where the solar charge controller is right now. So this one, you'll see it does sealed gel and flooded batteries. We've got a new one now that will also do lithium batteries. So not much to this. All we're gonna do, it's the same type of thing. Screw holes are the same. We're just gonna switch out our wires here. So new solar charge controller ready to go. Kind of like the battery charger, not probably necessary, but the charger's only 30 bucks, so went ahead and did it anyways. The one thing that we do need to do though is this thing right here. So this is a DC to DC battery charger, and why do we need this, you may be asking. And the reason is right here. So if you have a 7-pin wire on your trailer, one of these pins provides 12 volts while you're towing, assuming your car is set up for it, and this truck is. And so what happens is while we're towing, the truck charges the battery through these wires right here. So this is the positive lead from that trailer plug that we saw up front, and this is the negative that goes down to the frame of the trailer. Don't pay any attention to the fact that it's red. I ran out of black wire when I was doing this. So the thing is, since lithium batteries like to charge so fast, it can burn out the alternator on your car if you don't have a DC to DC battery charger. It tries to draw too much power, and apparently it burns up alternators. So we're going to be installing this so we don't burn out our alternator. Another reason to use a DC to DC charger is that battery types don't like to mix. So I think the truck has an AGM battery in it. We're gonna be putting our lithium battery in here. And so if we just connected it to these cables right here and then hooked it up to the truck, you'd have an AGM battery connected to a lithium battery, and apparently that's not good. So this isolates the batteries. You can put batteries of different types on either side, and this will let them play nicely together. So there's a couple things to do here to hook this up. There's the input here, so we're going to hook our cables from our positive and our ground here to the input. Output will go to the 2 terminals on the battery. There's also this ignition switch sensor, so this will only turn on if it gets a positive signal into here when the ignition for the truck is on. The thing is, the charging while towing only works when the ignition for the truck is on, so I'm just going to go ahead and splice into our positive wire down here that will give us our ignition signal so it can turn on. And then there's a few switches here that I need to figure out which ones I need to turn to let it know that it's gonna have a lithium battery on it. Small problem. Our battery does not fit in the battery tray. We can fix that. So that is all wired up now. We've got the DC to DC charger going directly to the battery, so that will run while the car is going, even if the camper is turned off. And then we've got our big cables here going over to our power switch that will turn everything on. So theoretically, if we turn this on right now, we should have power. Oh, check it out. 13.3. And let's check our Reenergy app here. Oh, there you go. 100% charge. We're using 1.09 amps right now on, I don't know, something. And we can use it for 91 hours. So we have power to the camper, but do all of our charging accessories we just hooked up work? I think the best way to figure that out is a little field test. Let's go camping. So I am pretty ashamed of this, but as you can see, we're at this weird RV park slash amusement park kind of hybrid thing. So the thing is, like, all the campgrounds within like 2 hours of us were booked, and our kids start screaming in the car pretty easy these days. So we're here. It has like a lot of activities for kids and stuff, and it's off I-35. We always drive by it. We've never stopped there, so we figured if all the campgrounds are booked, let's just go camp at this strange amusement RV park and see what they got to offer. It wouldn't stop.
Oh, good, great.
Grill gun, get one today, because America. So it is actually the last day of camping or RVing, whatever you call it. And I wanted to give the battery a test. We've run it all weekend. We've been running the fridge, the lights inside. I actually accidentally left one on all day yesterday, so that's been going. The roof fan, and so we're gonna see what the battery is at now. The good part is we still got 13 volts, so we know it's working. And the results are, we're at 42%. Fridge is on right now. We're using 3.59 amps. And as you can see, we are not plugged in, but we're washing our hands, I think. So we'll hook it up real quick and see how the chargers work. All right, so we are plugged in with the main charger here, and we're charging at 23.7 amps. It'll be done in 2.4 hours, which isn't bad considering that this is not a lithium charger. So that works. Let's try the solar panel. So there is approximately 100% clouds right now. The solar charge controller back here is flashing like we are charging, but it says we're getting 0 amps right now, which actually is something because a minute ago we were pulling amps and now it's just kind of evening out. So the solar panel, even though there's no sun right now, it's making it so we could, I don't know, stay at this charge level indefinitely, I guess. Now the DC to DC charger is another story. So I tested that out whenever I was hooking up the truck, and the charger is getting power. It turns on. The status lights indicate that it's working, but it's not putting out any power. Did a little bit of research on that real quick, and one of the problems could be that maybe the wiring in the truck isn't large enough. It's not able to pull enough current, and it's actually not turning on. Probably need to look into it a little bit more, but charging while towing is not working right now. If I had a pickle beer here, I'd probably have to drink it, but luckily I didn't bring any. So we've got our battery in there. Our standard charger is working. Our solar charger, it'd work if we had some sun. And the DC to DC charger, probably gonna have to look into why that isn't working, but that I don't think is gonna make it in today's episode. So I don't know if you call that a win or not, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. I think I melted it to my shirt. Like a